What's good, everyone? Welcome to episode 9 of the King McClure Show. I'm your host, King McClure. Excited to be your home for everything college basketball news, notes, whatever you want. We got it right here. And we're going to start changing the format of the show. We got a new format for you guys, all right? We're going to have 5 topics, either 4 or 5 topics, and we're going to go 5 minutes because typically, you know, your boy likes to rant, and we start getting off topic sometimes. We're going to keep it a little bit shorter, all right? 5 minutes, almost PTI style. Hank's going to put up a clock. We're going to talk about the topic at the end of the 5 minutes. We're done. Moving on to the next topic, all right? I like this format. We'll see if you like it. Let us know what you think. But we have a loaded show, all right? We're talking about what's going on in the SEC as far as who's on top of the standings. And Bediako come back to Alabama. Insane. We're talking about the Big 12. We're talking about a lot of different things. 5 topics, 5 minutes. Hank, are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Hank, what do we have first?
All right. First topic here, and I'm going to hit go right now on this timer. Charles Bediako has gone back to Alabama. King, I don't know a ton about this story. Can you tell me what's going on here? And why are the words restraining order in every headline about this?
This is insane, Hank. And let me tell you why. Because, so Charles Bediako played from, I want to say, 2021 to 2023. And this young man, he's a 7-foot center, was with played in the G League the past 2 years, right? So here's my issue with this. He decides that he wants to go back to college because of the floodgates in which Baylor opened. The NCAA originally said no. So the NCAA said no. So what he decides to do is he decides to sue the NCAA. He's suing the NCAA because he's like, why is James Najee allowed to play, but I'm not allowed to play? So he sues the NCAA. And honestly, that word sue is the last thing that the NCAA wants to hear right now. After they lost the settlement, the House settlement, I want to say $2.8 billion, they want to stay out of the courts, all right? So with them wanting to stay out the courts, now all of a sudden, he sues them. An Alabama state judge grants him a temporary restraining order. And mind you, this restraining order, Hank, is only good for 10 days. So he allows him a temporary restraining order to be able to play. So he can suit up for the next 10 days. And then after the temporary restraining order, either the judge is going to have to prolong the hearing, like basically push it out further to allow him to continue to play, or he's going to not be able to play again. This is insane. We are allowing judges, state judges, right? And here's what I'm thinking. What state judge is not going to allow their school the opportunity to better themselves? It's a state school. And I guarantee you that state judge, if you were to look at it, this is not fact. This is just my guess. I guarantee you that if you were to look into it, this judge has some type of tie to the state of Alabama or to Alabama, the Crimson Tide. I guarantee it.
Okay, King. I'm telling you right now, I had that exact same thought. I was Googling this as you spoke. His name is Judge James Jim Roberts. This is all, I found this on Reddit, r/college basketball. Shout out Deutsch Has a Gun is the user. The judge's name is Jim Roberts Jr. He is a donor to the Crimson Tide Foundation. The asterisk on the listing means he is an active donor, and he's listed under the level of donor that gives between $100,000 and $250,000 a year to a school. So,
I mean, you see,
can't believe everything you read, but I don't know, man. I don't know.
You see, but you see what I mean. So now, hey, this is only going to get worse. So now, if I'm a school, like so seriously, so serious, if I'm a school, and let's say I'm middle of the pack, like let's say I'm like a Kansas State right now, I'm struggling a little bit. I'm gonna go get 3 G League guys right now. I'm gonna go pay them all $500,000 for 2 months, and I'm gonna go make the NCAA tournament. I'm gonna turn my whole season around because I'm gonna go get 3 G League guys, have a donor write me a check for $1.5 million. And then, boom, I'm back in the NCAA tournament. I'm back in contention. Or if I'm Cincinnati, I'm doing the same thing. I'm going to go get 3 G League guys right now. If you're a G League dude and you have not played in the NBA, right now I'm going to do that. Like I'm talking to I'm talking to a coach. Right? I'm not going to name the coach, but the coach told me that what he's hearing is anybody in the 22, 23, 24, 25 draft class that has not played an NBA game is free game. You can go get them right now.
Especially because a lot of these guys just missed that NIL window. You know, they didn't earn their money in college when they had their chance. Like Bediako, he had to sit out a year when he transferred to Alabama the first time. You know, right. remember when that was a thing?
Yes. And you mean to tell me that he's probably making $50,000 in the G League? You mean to tell me that these G League dudes aren't about to go sign for $500,000? Honestly, you could probably get them for cheaper. You could probably get them for like $350 to $400 for 2 months. Bro, like this is insane, Hank. We are reaching insane territory, and this is getting sickening. I'm tired of it. I'm absolutely tired of it. But that's the clock, all right? That's the clock. We're going to stick true to our word. Just let you know, I'm absolutely sick and tired of what's going on in college basketball.
It's going to get worse before it gets better, King.
We have to fix it. And the last thing I'm going to say is the NCAA did release a statement, and within that statement, we'll put it up. But within that statement, they did say that basically nobody is listening to their rules, so that they hope that Congress steps in. If that is what you're saying, and that's the statement you release, then what is the point of the NCAA? If you can't enforce rules, what is the point of the NCAA? If you need Congress to step in, there is no point of the NCAA.
We're going to need more than 5 minutes for that. But I will say the NCAA as an organization made money off of unpaid labor for a long time. It's nice to see they're getting outdated, man. It's nice to see they're washed away. We don't need them anymore. I don't think.
The NCAA will not be a thing. I think
it's also ridiculous that we have
in about 10 years.
It's ridiculous that we have college football, it's ridiculous that we have college football overseen by the same organization that oversees like college swimming, for example. Like much very different budgets, But whatever. Let's move on to the next one. We almost honored the 5 minutes there. We hit 5 minutes. We acted like we were going to stop talking, and then we both had more points we wanted to give. So let's do a little better this time around. There is a new leader in the SEC. It brings me no joy to say this, but the Texas A&M Aggies have reached the top of the standings here. I'm gonna hit go on this timer. I want to quickly tee this up. The 2 teams that were up at the top of the SEC last time we talked, it was Vanderbilt, which has had a couple of tough losses, and then surprisingly Florida, a team that we wrote off early in the year, had some big wins to climb themselves way back up to the top of the standings. But somehow Texas A&M, with a 5-1 conference record, coming off a big win over Mississippi State last night that you were in the house for, is now at the top of this conference. So King, tell me, what's going on with these Aggies? Is this a team we actually need to watch out for?
Yeah, I think this is legit. And the reason why I think it's legit is because of their style of play. It's Bucky Ball. What is Bucky Ball? If you remember, when West Virginia had Bob Huggins and they were press Virginia, it's very, very similar. The only difference is it's a little bit more organized and a lot more strategy to it, because West Virginia, press Virginia that I played against, right? They were a team that they're going to hack you the whole game. They were physical. They're going to out-tough you. They're going to make you tap out. They're going to punk you. They're going to absolutely punk you. They're going to try to be the dominant, basically the head honcho. They're going to come out of the bully. That's what get ready to put it. They're going to be the bully. That's not Bucky Ball. Bucky Ball is, we're going to wear you out though, but we're going to do things strategically. Like we're going to send this trap at you randomly because it's strategic, to where we get the ball out of your hands and we put it in this dude's hands because I don't think he's good enough to make a play. Or if you turn your back, now we're going to come get you right there. Or off a missed shot, which is what I think is the hardest thing to play against, is off of a missed shot. They are trapping you. So if you happen to get the ball underneath the basket, they're going to send 2 towards you, and they're going to trap you right there, which completely gets you out of your transition offense. So now they force you to have to play in the half court. But what I love about it the most is they tend to speed teams up. But then for a few possessions, they'll play 2-3, which completely slows you down. So when you look at Bucky Ball, the whole concept of it is just dictating the tempo. It's controlling the pace of the game. And that's what they do on defense. Offensively, here's why I think this team is legit. Because they average 20 assists per game to about 11 turnovers. They share the basketball. They're not a team that takes a lot of mid-range shots, takes a lot of bad shots. Matter of fact, they are third in the country when it comes to 2-point distance. What does that mean? That means they are getting to the rim or they are shooting threes. They are not taking middies because Bucky McMillan doesn't believe in mid-range jumpers, which I get it. I think that you should have a mid-range jumper to be a 3-level scorer to make you a harder player to guard. However, a lot of coaches, based on analytics, do not agree with that. They think it's the most inefficient shot in basketball, which is a fair point, all right? But with this specific style, the way they share the basketball, the way they move it, they play a beautiful brand of basketball. Get it to the top of the key with AG, who was absolutely phenomenal. And then they just move without the ball. They move, they cut, they space, they get the ball swung both side to side. I mean, they play a beautiful brand of basketball that I think is missing in today's day and age. I think so many teams want to replicate an NBA style when you don't have NBA dudes. So what does Bucky McMillan do? He just teaches his kids how to play basketball, and then he plays this defensive style that's very unorthodox. So now every single time where you have to prepare for this team, you have to adjust and prep for what they do instead of them having to adjust and prep for what you do. You know? So I think that that's the beauty of Bucky Ball, and I'm a huge fan of Bucky McMillan.
All right, well, Texas A&M is hot right now, but in their next, a month from now, they will have played number 21 Georgia, number 17 Alabama, number 16 Florida, and number 15 Vanderbilt. So far, the only ranked team they've played in conference play is Tennessee, and you and I both know what I think about Tennessee, and they lost that game. So Bucky Ball is all nice. They're having their moment. Do you think they can actually make it through this gauntlet of the best teams in the SEC unscathed, or do the Aggies have a reality check coming?
No, I don't think that they can make it through this gauntlet unscathed. I mean, they're gonna drop some. That's just part of the SEC. That's part of conference. But I do think they're good enough to be able to knock off some teams too. They're definitely good enough to be able to knock off some teams. But I do think that they'll take a few losses. Like that Alabama game would be tough because of the way that Alabama likes to play. They want to get into a shootout. They want to go up and down. So we'll see. But I do think this A&M team is good. They're legit. They're good. How good are they? I don't know, TBD. But I do think they're legit.
Yeah, I mean, they beat my sorry-ass team already. So, Sean Miller, I don't know whether or not I should love him or hate him. But you guys aren't here to hear me talk about Texas. Let's take a quick break. We'll come right back with some more.
And we are back. So far, the first segment, we almost hit 5 minutes. The second one, we were right on the money,
good.
right?
We're doing good.
We're doing pretty solid, Hank. All right, hit me with what's next.
Okay, next one right here. Big questions for the Big 12. I'm going to hit go. I got questions teed up for every team in the Big 12. We're going to start at the top. We're going to see how many we can get through. All right. First up, Arizona. Are they peaking too early?
No, this Arizona team has no weaknesses. They are the best team in college basketball. They don't shoot a lot of threes, but when they do, they're very efficient. They love to play this inside-out style. I think the way that they play can translate to anywhere they go. They're going to be a super hard team to beat and to prep for because of the size in their front court and how skilled and how good their guards are. This is the best team in the country for sure. They have no weaknesses. So no, they are not peaking too early. This is real.
And if you want to learn more about this Arizona team, King dropped a breakdown of what makes their offense so simple, so effective on our YouTube channel. Check that out. Next up, Iowa State lost 2 in a row. Can they right the ship? I mean, a 21-point loss in Lawrence is one thing, but losing to Cincinnati is not acceptable for a team with Final Four aspirations to a coach that's on the hot seat. What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, they bounced back in the game against UCF, but those 2 losses are the one loss specifically is a little more concerning to me. I do think that this Iowa State team is really good. They're still a really good team. My concern is that their guards have to score the ball better, specifically Torrey. You would love to see Torrey and Lipsey just be consistent scorers. But right now, they're relying so heavily on their wings to be their primary scorers, and that's hard in college basketball. You need guards to be able to lead the ship and to score the basketball. So if they can't be consistent scorers, and Lipsey has shown flashes, he's shown that he can do it, but he just has to do it more consistently. So that's my biggest concern with this team. But I think that they'll be fine. They'll still be up in there in the top of the Big 12.
Okay, next up. When I fill out my bracket, I look at a couple of things, but two of the biggest ones I look at are free throw rate and three-point rate. There's a team right now that, looking at those stats, this team is 360th in free throw rate, 170th in three-point rate. So for me, looking at those, that's a team I'm not having go far in my bracket. But that team is Houston, and you told me they could win the national championship. So tell me, how is Houston's offense going to be good enough to win in March if they can't score the ball effectively?
I think that one of the things you have to realize is that their offense is not necessarily their strength, although they've shown that they can do that and they can score and they can play at a faster pace this year than what they did last year. So I think defensively, we talk about Bucky Ball, and as a coach and as a team, you have to prep for what they do. That's Houston too. You have to prep for Houston's physicality, but you really can't do that until you get in the game and then you realize how hard JoJo Tugler is playing, how hard Emmanuel Sharp is playing, and then you see these guys up close and personal. It's extremely hard to prep for that. So I think that when you look at what they do from an offensive rebounding perspective on the glass, I think that their offense is not necessarily something that we should worry about. Because Kingston Flemings has shown in that Texas Tech game, he can just step up, rise up to the plate at any moment and take over a ball game because he's a pro. That's what pros do. So I do think that this is a team that can win a championship. We have to realize also, they had one loss to a Tennessee team that just was just one bad game. You mitigate that loss, they dominated every single other opponent they played. Like, you eliminate that one loss, we're talking about them being the best team in the country once again. But they're still a top 5 team in the country that is going to be able to compete for a national championship.
All right, next up, BYU. They've lost to UConn and Texas Tech. Those are the only two good teams they've played. So my question for you, can the Cougars beat elite competition?
I think that they're talented. I get a little concerned on the defensive side. I don't think they're great defensively. I think they're good, but not great. And I think that they'll win big games. They'll make it to the Sweet 16, possibly the Elite 8. But in order to be a championship team, you have to defend a little bit better than what they do, than what they've shown. And they have the pieces with Dybantsa, with Keita, with Kennard Davis. Richie Saunders has good size and good length. They have the pieces, but they're more of an offensive-heavy team than they are defensively. So I do think that I'm a little concerned about their defense in terms of making it to a Final Four or a championship, right? They're a really good team. They're going to win games in the tournament because they're more talented. But I don't know if they defend well enough to take the whole thing home.
All right, last one as the clock ticks down. Is Baylor any good?
You would put this at the last one. Man, I'm gonna be honest with you, just real quick. I know the time just hit. Baylor's struggling, man. And I think this goes to show what happens when you don't have a point guard. A point guard is so crucial. They have a bunch of talented wings, but they do not have a point guard. The value of a point guard is put on full display with this Baylor team. They don't have one. They're struggling. They can't figure it out. But defensively, the game I did against Texas Tech, unacceptable. They have to do better than that because this is embarrassing.
I appreciate the honesty. If you got any eligibility left, King, this might be your time. All right, next up. This entire topic, the next 5 minutes, is just to put a date in everyone's minds. And that date is January 31st, 2026. King, do you know what happens on January 31st, 2026?
What happens on January 31st, 2026?
The BYU Cougars are going into Lawrence, Kansas, and we're going to see AJ Dybantsa face off against Darren Peterson in the game of basketball. I am so excited for this. We've talked about this before. I'm a Wizards fan. I spend most of my NBA season looking towards the draft. These two guys are I am excited about these two prospects as I've been about anyone coming out in a long time. And Darren Peterson specifically, we've talked about Dybantsa before, but this guy looks as pro-ready as any guard as we've seen in college basketball in a long time. King, what are you excited for about this game? And then give me a scouting report. The last time we talked about Peterson, we were debating whether or not he should play another minute for his team this season. So what do you think about this game?
Yeah, I am looking forward to this game. I think that we're going to see two young men who are battling for that 1 and 2 spot be able to put their talents on display. And for me, I was one of those people who were on the fence about who the number 1 pick should be, whether that be between Peterson or Dybantsa. But I think it was this past weekend, last Saturday. What day is today? Thursday the 22nd. This will come out on Friday. So last Saturday, Dybantsa played Texas Tech. And granted, that was a really tough road game. Tech is a really good team, right? Here's my thing. There were moments out there where I'm looking around like, hey, where's Dybantsa? Like, when is he going to take over this game? And we've seen him be able to take over games. But, like, he has a loud takeover. Darren Peterson, when he steps on the floor, just takes over effortlessly. Like, effortlessly. And I think that when Kansas played Colorado did the best job out of anybody I've seen this year, which, like, I don't know. Maybe it's not rocket science to me, but they did the best job out of anybody of just getting the ball out of Peterson's hands. On pick and rolls, like, put 2 on the basketball. He constantly saw 2 bodies. And I think that's what you have to do. And he's that level of scorer. Oh, I hit my camera. He's that level of scorer to where you have to always take account of where he is. So therefore, when he is looking to get going, because every time he shoots the ball, I think it's going in, you have to be able to get the ball out of his hands. Put 2 on the basketball. On drives, you have to load up. Make him be a playmaker. But the problem is, and why I think Kansas can be so dangerous, especially in this type of matchup, is because you got dudes like Council and Trey White who can come to the party and have shown that they can be those second and third options consistently. That they've shown that they are good players who understand how to thrive on this stage now. So with that, I really do think that this Kansas team can be dangerous. All you really need is Darren Peterson to become a better playmaker. And also, we can't forget about my man, Big Floyd Badunga. I mean, that dude down low is catching everything. He is a rim protector. He does so much for this Kansas squad. I mean, they look good. But also, I have to say this. I really hope that Bill Self is okay. I really hope that Bill Self is okay. This is the second health scare in which, and I think it's in the past like 2 years, in which he couldn't coach games and he couldn't be there for his team. So I really hope that his health, first and foremost, is okay. He looked good. I don't necessarily know what happened. I probably will need to reach out and see how he's doing. But I really do hope that Bill Self is okay because that's the most important thing. However, I love this hire, though, of Jacque Vaughn and what he brings to the table. I mean, coaching the NBA. And if something were to happen to Bill Self, I mean, no doubt that Jacque Vaughn is the predecessor for Bill Self. No doubt that he's the next one up, and they won't skip a beat. They will not miss a beat because Jacque Vaughn is a great coach. So I do think that this Kansas and BYU game is going to be absolute cinema. But I think right now, Darren Peterson has made it clear and evident that he's the number 1 pick in the draft, and Dybantsa is number 2, which is not a knock on him, but it's just a fact. Darren Peterson makes it look easy. He makes it look effortless. He is that level of good.
First, on Bill Self, I was a student in the Big 12. There are very few coaches that I both loved, respected, and hated more, I would say, than Bill Self. It was every time he came to town, or every time Texas went to Lawrence, I knew we were in for a game. Yeah. And then second, about Darren Peterson, I know the timer just ran out, but I got to get this off. He is the exact reason why the one and done rule should be thrown in the garbage. The college is a professional league at this point. So why are we trying to keep players here that clearly could be doing this on an NBA stage? Make room, make opportunities for these guys who tried to go up too early and are now coming back. And also with this whole thing of Peterson of the won't he play? It's, he can't injure himself because he might hurt his NBA status. What are we doing here? He's ready for the league now. Let him go. Keep the players in college that aren't going to cut it at the next level, or players that need time to develop in season before they get up to the next level.
I love how you when the timer ran off. I love how you threw this crazy take out there when the timer ran off.
Well, you know what, King? Now it's time to go to break.
I love how you threw this crazy take out there when the timer ran off. So you know I couldn't have a rebuttal.
We'll be right back.
y'all see how he does. You see what he does. You see what he does.
I said we'll be right back.
We're back. Welcome to the King McClure Show. We got one more topic for you, Hank. What you got for me?
This is a couple weeks old at this point, but it's something I felt like we had to talk about on the show. And then since it's been a bit since we were back here, this is the time we're getting to it. The FBI has launched a probe into college basketball. They've indicted nearly 40 players across 17 different teams and organizations for a point shaving scandal. So this is the second, or I would say third, actually, like FBI-induced probe into American sports. The MLB had one. The NBA had one. Clearly, this rise of gambling in sports has led to people looking for shadier ways to make money and profit off it. King, what do you think about this?
I have a few thoughts. Number one, Antonio Blakeney, who I think in that article they said that he was one of the first people to really get involved in this. He played in the CBA. Yeah. Blakeney was in my class, so I'm like, me and Blakeney are real cool. That's my guy. So I wish he would have made better decisions. However, Blakeney was talented. He was a talented kid, and I hate to see this. Really hate to see this. All right. Number two, I want to make this very, very clear that there is no place in sports for point shaving, for throwing games. There's no place in sports for that. Like, honor the integrity of the game and do right by it. Right. We love this game. We honor it. We cherish it. We should not be sitting up here doing illegal gambling, betting, throwing, any of that. I don't even know the terms of it because I've never done it, right? Point shaving, none of that should ever be, there's no place for it, right, in our game or any sport. Now, here's my biggest point that I want to just point out, right? When we look at all of the players that were named in this case, so there was about 20 that were playing in college, what is the one common theme that you saw with those schools? What did you see, Hank?
They weren't that good.
Yes, we're talking
Not
about
the players,
low major,
but the teams,
the schools. Yes, we're talking about low major programs. So, and DePaul, which is now starting to become a little bit better. They're actually getting a little better. But when we look at the landscape of NIL, and we constantly complain about this player is making $1 million, he's making $2 million, he's making $800,000. Why are they making so much money? We tend to forget about these smaller schools, these low major schools, who take up the majority of college sports. So because they take a majority of college sports, the reality is that while we're complaining about all of these dudes getting money, there's more dudes, there's more women that play in college sports that don't get a dime, which is why these people in these gambling circles targeted those schools specifically, because they know you guys aren't making money. Let me go put an extra $50,000 to $100,000 in your pocket, if not more. I know you'll take it because you're not making anything, because you're struggling. So when you look at it, right, and the one that comes to mind is said Quavius Hunter, who said that he was literally trying to make money for his kid that he just had, and he wasn't making anything in college. So I'm not justifying what they did because, once again, there's no place in our game or any sport for this. However, we just can't forget about the majority of student athletes and only focus on these high major athletes who are making all this money. NIL is more than just that. There are so many kids, the majority of kids aren't getting NIL. And we have to point out the discrepancy in this because we would be ignorant to mitigate the low majors and the mid majors from what we're seeing with the high majors. So this is why this happens. So we need to do something about this because I do think that this is something in which could continue because these low major guys just aren't getting money. So they're more enticed when they see 100,000, 150, 200,000, when they see everybody else in college basketball making money, like all these high major dudes making money, and then they're getting this small amount of change flashed in front of their face. So I'm not justifying and not doing that at all. All I'm saying is let's point out the discrepancies between high majors and low majors, and let's realize the majority of college athletes are not getting money, and that's why this happened.
I think that's well said. And I think we can do more working with the books to protect players against temptation. We don't need to be offering, individual points and rebounds lines for players for student athletes, for players who are under 21. We don't need to be, a lot of this gambling was trying to shave points on first half spreads.
No
we don't need to be. Yeah, we don't need to be doing that stuff. Let people bet on who's going to win or lose the game, but make sure teams are winning and losing as a team. And the last thing is, if you're a coach, it must be so nerve-wracking right now to look around your locker room and not knowing. Like, players do dumb things. I know I had coaches in my day who would, watch me try to throw a full court outlet pass and chuck it straight out the gym. People, I wouldn't blame them if my coach thought I was point shaving, So it's got to be tough right now. It's got to be a weird time to be in a locker room. But I think you summed that up well.
For sure.
King, that's all the time we got for today. This is our new 5 topics, 5 minutes each. How do you feel about like the top 25 with King McClure? You think we can build it that way? Is this PR?
Oh, I like that. The top 25. I actually like. Look at you, Hank. You tried to throw me for a curveball earlier with the Dan Peterson take, and then now you're giving out good ideas.
Hey, man.
A man of many talents.
I'm the podcasting Jordan Poole, man. I'm a volume shooter. So something's gonna go in. I'll keep chucking it up. King, it was great to see you.
I love it.
We'll be back here next week.
Yes, sir. We will be back here next week. Like us, subscribe to us, rate us, whatever you want to do. We would greatly appreciate it. Greatly appreciate it. Road to 3,000 once again. Need your help. Subscribe to us, all right? We love you guys. We appreciate you who tune in. Until next time, me and Hank are out.